Okay guys, welcome back to the next part, and in this part we're going to be doing some texturing. So we are all finished with modelling for now. Unless there's something unique you want to create for your scene, then please go make that and then come back. But this is our next steps now. Don't worry about the bed model and some other furniture that we're going to be importing in later on. But at the moment we're going to be moving on from modelling. So make sure you have your render setup open and make sure your V-Ray is set up, and that's just for your textures at the moment. Just use V-Ray textures and all that stuff. Don't need to mess around with any on settings for now. So just press M and you should get your nice slate material editor. Now I know some people might work the other way to using the compact, but I generally just prefer using the slate material. Funny enough, years and years ago I never used to use the slate material. I always used to use the compact version, and it got to a point where when I was working for my job at SCS, the sofa company, where I was working with so many textures on a daily basis that it was just getting impossible to work in the other way. So I started working in the slate material editor, and I'm talking from creating from scratch textures, adding so many maps on top, and it was just a lot to keep on track. So if you open up your options, use the right click and grab a V-Ray bitmap and also a material, V-Ray material. And so guys, if you select your V-Ray bitmap and then open up your textures, so you should have this texture. You can import it. It's for the wall gloss, and you'll see why this is important for later on. You can go create this in Photoshop. There's some tutorials online how to do this, but it's just usually a smoke mask and then just putting it to the size that you want. But this one's quite a big enough size, so you're going to get a lot from it. So if you put that in, and if you go to your settings down below and set the blur to a 0.1, and for the tiling we're just going to put it at 0.1. Now we'll probably end up messing around with this shortly, but for the moment we don't need to. So if you put this on your flat gloss and then go into your texture, set the material to 0.55, and for some reason, there we go. And if we set this to around, as you like, around, I'd say 30 for each. So you want to get a value of 30. So you've got a nice, not too much reflect, but a nice reflect. So we also want to set the diffuse to around 169, so it's not too bright, but we're going for white walls unless you guys want to use a different kind of paint colour, but I'm just going to go for pure nice white. So if we select our room, and we'll just move this a bit more in, and if we just assign material, so at the moment we can't see anything, which is standard. There we go. And if we add a UV map, set that to box, and we want to set it to, let's see what 5 gets us. So that's too much. We don't want that much. So I'd say around maybe in the 30s. See how that is. Still a bit too much, so let's go for 45, 45, 45. Okay, that'll do. So that's looking good, that. And we want to do the same with our ceilings. So if we open up M again and just assign them, and then do the same. We can actually collapse these down because we don't need to mess with them anymore. But we'll just set our colours and then we'll do it. Collapse 2 and collapse that one as well. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's done. So what we want to do now is add some colours to these units. So if we open up on material again, just open that, and we're going to go with some nice black and white glossy materials for these, and also for the handles. So if we just ungroup all of them, and if we open up another V-Ray material, and if you just double click it, it makes it bigger. So set the value to around 158 and reflect probably around, I'd say good 84, and then the glossiness, bring that around we'll see how 82 goes. So we'll make our top unit white, and if we just, and also it'd be good if we keep a good track of naming as well, so just put that gloss white unit, and this one will be gloss black unit. I'll name that one room texture. Okay, so we got our gloss white and our gloss black. So if we want to take that all the way to around 2, maybe actually go for 1. And if we get another third material, name that one handle. Handle units, and simple for this one, we're just going to turn the metalness up, and that's not working for some reason, and just mess with the actual reflect of it. So you want to get a nice shininess, metalness reflect. So I'd say a value of maybe we'll go for 109. Oh. And then the glass we'll put to, we'll go for 75. Oh, actually we'll go for 82. So if you select all your handles, and just add that, and then for your worktops, make them white, and for the rest, the units. I'm going to go for our black. Now when it comes to rendering, if we're not happy on our first take with the colours, if there's a bit too much going on or there's not too much going on, we'll always adjust them. So they're looking pretty good for what we want. So if we just group them back up, I'm just going to call it unit 1. Let's copy that. Unit 2. Unit 3. And just hide them. And if we just ungroup these, and then it's the same again for the nice black. We're going to go for these nice black doors. I'm going to make them black. Also the frames as well. Just make sure, yep. And for this, we're just going to create another, copy that. I'm just going to name that one, just name it track for now. And we're just going to bring that down to around there, 45. Assign that there, and then we've got our bottom ones here as well. Yep, perfect. And now if we just create another one and call it mirror, and turn that all the way up, and then just leave that with the metalness on because it's going to reflect it nicely like a mirror. And we grab them, and they should be mirrorish. So just want to group them. And just call that one unit 5 or 4. Yeah, unit 4. Or just name it what you guys want to name it. Okay, so they're nicely textured. And for these ones, for the plugs, I mean, it's again similar. You could just use the black for the switches and this kind of metal for the actual plug, or if you want to make it different, you can go which way you want. Same with this as well, this switch, same kind of materials. So for our skirting, we want to just grab the room texture and make sure it's all grabbed, and just literally do the same, and just grab a UV, put a box on it, go for around 50, and just copy that and do the same there. Just copy that name. Perfect. Okay, so that's it for the room units. So we'll work on the doors and windows next. Okay guys, so welcome back. We're going to be working on our doors and our windows. So just want to ungroup that. And what I want to do is create a new material and call this one door. And then add in another V-Ray bitmap, and then your downloads, you should have a door texture as well. And if you're wondering where to get these textures from, I highly recommend SketchUp Textures. SketchUpTexturesClub.com. They have some really amazing textures, and you can do a lot with them. There's from carpets. We're going to actually be using a carpet one soon. Woods to different all sorts of materials. There's also some free models on here you can get. It's a great site. You can pay a bit extra as well to get some really high detailed textures. That's up to you if you want to pay. But also there's a hell of a lot of free textures as well. So yeah, so grab your door texture, and also if we do the same again and just put 0.1, just let that auto save. 0.1, and if we also grab a color correction, and if we make 2, and what we want to do is turn that all the way down. And the reason I'm doing that is, if you have a look at the texture, it's a bit yellowish or orange, bit orangey, and I just want to go for a nice grey texture. So we've got that there. If we also, the second one, do the same, just bring this saturation down, and let's go into advance. Just wanna brighten that up, maybe around 150. No, I'm gonna go 155, and we'll use that on the bump, just to bring out those nice bits of black and stuff. That's why I've highlighted it. And we want to set the bump to around, I'm going to go for 10. And we'll add a bit of reflect to it. We'll go for, just make that bigger. We'll go for 104 and bring this down to around, let's say around 46. And just to give, we're not giving it too much reflect, but giving it a nice bit of bounce to reflect. So if we had that texture on, it should just fit quite nicely onto our texture. And with these parts, we're just going to create another V-Ray material. Let's call that door 2. And if we set that all the way to black on there, add a bit of reflect on it again, just go to around 101, go down to around, let's make that bigger so we can see. Apologies for the dogs if you can hear them barking. Yeah, just get around there, around 33, and just assign that to there. And we've got our metal hinges, so we can just jump over to our handles and also use that on our hinges. We can also use it on our door knob as well, unless you want to go for, again guys, if you want to create them to a different colour, it could be a nice gold handle or something similar. You've also got your V-Ray asset browser, which has plenty of nice colours in them from metals, so you can use all of these and pick So it's a nice little bonus to have. So we want to work on our door frame now. So I'm just going to grab that gloss white. I'm just going to name this gloss white 2, and we're just going to keep it around there and just maybe bring it down with the glossiness a bit. So I'd say around 63. Add that on. So it's a similar process, guys, if you do the same with this door, and you'll be able to get the same results. And don't forget, once you're done, to also just group that back up. Let's call it door 1. So we'll just jump over to our window model. So if we ungroup that, and don't worry about all these parts here, you're not going to see them on the render. So what we want to do is just grab our glass. It's two-sided. And as I've showed you guys, you've got your V-Ray asset browser, so I'm just going to go into here and it's just going to do another autosave. It does get a bit annoying that sometimes, but obviously it's for the best because you got that backup. But yeah, so we just want to go for our glass window natural. So if you just click there, apply to selected objects, and that should just appear there. And for our actual frames, we're just going to go with a matte black. So what we want to do again is we can actually just grab one of these glossy ones, just call that black window, go to diffuse, put it around to, let's say 2, and then we'll just increase that a bit, maybe around 71. Put it around there. And if we just grab all, just press Alt, click, just to deselect the windows, sorry, the glass, and there we go. Got some nice matte black windows there. So we'll just group that up. So yeah, simple as with the door and with the windows as well. And if you guys just do this one for yourself as well, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay guys, our next part is going to be the texture for the carpet. So if we grab a plane, and if we just grab it to around there, lower it down, and don't worry about this part because we're actually going to keep that part in so we can open this door and also just get a nice bit of detail into like another room without any lights or textures. So yeah, don't worry about that part. So if we open up our materials again, and if we create another Rio material and call this one carpet, and then maps, and we grab one of them and a color correction, and also if we also grab a V-Ray EV randomizer. So what I want to do here is for our map we want to grab our texture, which is this 33 grey carpet texture. Now these are in the file as well, the texture file. I'm saving a bit of time rather than you going online getting the textures that I need you to get, so I'm just putting them all into a nice folder for you. So if we set that to 0.1, and in our UV randomizer put statistic tiling on and leave that blend like that. Also just put 0.1 there and put that to there, and we'll attach that to there. we also just grab another mapping source and we grab this displacement one and attach that to displacement, and we want to put our displacement to around 3, and we want to put a composite in as well. Not that composite always comes up with their own composite. There we go. So we want that, and we want to add another one in there. Okay, so if we put our carpet into layer 1, and then we grab we also need a noise map. Now the point of this is to just add a bit more detail on top of that carpet. We're going for a nice greyish dark carpet with some spots on it, and this is going to really help achieve that detail. And also, again, if we're not happy with the detail on the texture when it comes to the rendering, we can always go back and adjust it, or if you want to adjust it to how you want it. So we're just going to put a size of 30, and that is all we need to do on that one, and we can just put the blur down to 0.1, add that into layer 2, and as you can see that's happened, so we don't want that to happen. So we're just going to put our our noise to an overlay, and then we get our texture back to how we need it. So it's coming out quite big there. So we want to put the size around to, I'd say a nice, let's go for 30 by 30. And also if we just assign the material there, we can have a look. So let's just check that out. So just adjust it a bit more. Let's go for 40 by 40. That should be about right. Excuse me. Maybe actually just go 35 by 35. We'll meet in the middle. So after that, we want to go to our color correction, and we just go there and adjust the RGB to around 50. Let's give it a nice bit of darkness, and then put the glossiness to around 0.5, and then if we select our glossiness color and just put that to a value of 72, I'll add a nice bit of shine to it. And then if we go to our sheen parameters, and then if we head over to our sheen, we just put that down to around 75. And then if we go to our sheen color and just adjust that and just have a look at the sheen on it, see what looks good. Let's go for a value of 218. Perfect. Nice. So it's really starting to come together now, the room. We've got our carpet, we've also got our units, our plugs as well. We are missing our bed, so we'll get onto that in the next one.